If you, or maybe students of yours, have trouble with swing tricks in general, or have gainers or corks that are a little inconsistent, or you don't know the difference between the setups of J-step, Euro step, or spin step or something, then this is the video for you. This is called the Gainer Compass, and it's a tool that I developed to help my students with their gainers, and I figured that you guys could also benefit from this. So let's go over the Gainer Compass. To draw the Gainer Compass, what you want to do is stand wherever you want your middle piece to be. You can use chalk or duct tape or whatever you want. Wherever you want the cross to be in the center, that's where you're going to stand. I'm using chalk just because it's easier. I feel like if you're doing this for yourself, you might even be drawing it in the dirt or something like that. Whatever you can use as your medium that you want for your middle point, you're gonna stand there and draw it. But from that lunge position, you're gonna pick your feet up a little bit and you're gonna make a mark where your first foot is and your back foot is. If they're not in a straight line, that's not a big deal, so make the mark kind of light. Then you're gonna put an X where the back foot is. From there, you're gonna turn 90 degrees on that first foot, and then you're going to put a mark where that back foot is on that second lunge. So make sure that you make that lunge pretty big because this is gonna have to be a really big jump. It should be about your body length from the J that you're gonna draw to the line, with your arms extended, that is. So make sure it's pretty far. On mine that I just drew, I did the X, and then I was like, needs to be a little bit farther, so I almost doubled that length. So just do it for whatever feels good for you, but you wanna make sure that this jump that we're about to do is really far. So make sure that it's like not too close, but if it's like, 10 feet or something, then it's gonna be too far. So put a mark there and then decide for yourself whether you want to extend that or not. Either way, wherever the line ends is where you're gonna put your J. So for me, it's almost 2 of my own lunges, or again, my body length, and then I put a J at the end of that line. So that is my starting position for J steps. About a foot or 2 in front of that, I put an E because that's where we would start for Euro setups. Once you have that 90-degree angle, and if you're just doing it for yourself, you could just stop there. You don't have to draw the whole compass. But if you're doing it for students and they trick on different sides, or you want multiple people to go at the same time, like taking turns off and on, then what you want to do is you want to draw the rest of the compass and make sure that you have like it all fleshed out. You can put the E down before or after you step out to the side, but I'd honestly recommend stepping out to the side, and I drew this compass before I did this audio, and I can't remember if I did the E first. What I would recommend you do is putting your left foot on the J if you twist to your left, and placing your right foot kind of in a deep lunge out to your right. Whatever's a natural kind of step out to your right, and then you're gonna draw a circle around your foot. The reason I say you should probably start with that is because the circle and the E should be in a kind of straight line to the side. They should be equal, and then it'll all work out for you. So if you're drawing the rest of the circle now, just make everything symmetrical. Draw another circle on the other side of the E and extend the line out, draw another J, draw another E, and then do the circles on each side. Make sure you draw an X on the crossing sides. This is gonna be where you're gonna land. So make sure you have it on both sides if you're doing this on both sides. You can also add these little arrows that I added because it kind of will show you where you should swing. Again, it's gonna be different on different sides. And again, if you are doing this for students, I would recommend color coding it. You can't really tell on this, so I just drew it all in the same color, but in my other clips that you're watching probably right now, I have the chalk color coded, but you can't even really tell in there. So I usually do this with like duct tape or something. If I know I'm gonna do this for like a week straight and I'm really working on my students' gainers, I'll just make it out of duct tape, really color code it, and really make it understandable for them. But if you just drawing this in the dirt, then just do it yourself, man. It don't matter. You just need some little marks on the ground. They're gonna be pushed away and washed away like the sands of time on the beach, washed away by the waves. Those footprints were there for a fleeting moment. But basically those arrows are just there to show you where you're jumping and where you're swinging. So that way it's like really understandable and readable, but you don't need them if you don't want them. So if you're using this to learn your gainer, or you just want to touch up on your gainer, we're going to start now on the J with our left foot if we twist to our left. Obviously switch that if you go on the other side, but you're going to put your left leg on the J and then you're going to step out into that circle. Your goal is to jump all the way into that cross. So it may seem pretty far if you did it your own body body length, but really when you J-step, you should be jumping pretty far. At first, you can straight up just jump from your right foot onto your left foot on the cross without any turn or anything, just to get used to that jump if you'd like to. But essentially what you're doing is you're standing there, putting all your weight on your right foot, but then you're jumping only forward while kind of keeping like that weight distribution kind of centralized when you're in the air. So you're putting a lot of weight on that right foot to jump, but then when you actually jump, you're kind of jumping back to that left foot. However, you don't want to go all the way to that left foot. You want it to be kind of centralized, like right underneath your pelvis essentially, so that when you land, you have your right leg back and it's kind of pulling you backwards once we do that 90-degree turn. So if you twist to your left, what you're going to do now is you're putting your weight on that foot, you're jumping into the cross, but in the air, you're going to turn 90 degrees to your left before you land. Then you land on that left foot and your right leg shouldn't really touch the ground. It should kind of like pull you backwards before it touches. Or you can just straight up swing it through and you'll feel your weight kind of pulling you backwards. If it is pulling you backwards, you're doing the right thing. If you're a little balanced right now, then you're probably leaning forward. So you want to land upright with your weight kind of pulling you backwards. Once you got that down, you want to look over your left shoulder at the X. I drew 2 X's because I think that, like, personally for me, I want to go a little farther than my own lunge, but you can go just, you know, as far as you feel comfortable. Your goal is to go pretty far back because you're trying to get your weight and your momentum to go backwards, not continuing the way you originally jumped, and definitely not towards your own swing, if that makes sense. So you put your weight in that right circle, you jump forward off your right foot, turn 90 degrees, spot that X when you're landing, and then you swing and try to land on that X. You don't have to invert or do anything crazy right now. Just try to do this over and over again. Jump, turn 90, swing, and spot the X kind of simultaneously, and then land on your right foot or your swinging leg on that X. This in general is going to help you understand swings, and it's the way your weight moves every time you do a swing through that is not like a true gainer, like a running forward gainer or like a standing, jumping, backflip, moving forward, a tricking gainer. And then it's really as simple as kicking higher and higher while spotting that X. I honestly recommend to start this completely standing still like I am. Make sure you have your footing in the circle, in the J, and that will be like the right spacing for you, and it will teach you how to jump for this so that later on when we are like running into this or like taking steps into this, you won't be confused, because if we're moving too quickly through this, then there's a lot of things you have to think about and you'll probably miss your marks and step all over the place. So start standing and you'll learn to build power and learn to get your gainer better, and then you can do it with runs and steps later. But yeah, just swing higher and higher while spotting that X. You're jumping forward really hard off of that right circle. You're swinging harder and harder while spotting that X and looking backwards. Eventually, you could be able to catch on your hands and kind of like almost cartwheel towards that X. Or you could just keep doing it until it's like B kick height, and then it's like a 45-degree angle, and then you should be able to use it to get your gainer. Like I said, multiple people can use this at one time to get better and better at it. You guys can take turns, and because of the way it's set up, you can do it on either direction. You can be jumping and twisting to your right and swinging from one direction. You guys could have multiple people that twist on different sides, starting from the same side and just swinging different angles and going different directions and stuff. And so you could have like up to 4 or 5 people just using the same gainer compass to like learn your gainers rapid fire. It really helps you to have all these visual tools to, you know, understand where your momentum should go. If you already have your J step or you prefer to use like a Euro step or something, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your foot on that E. So it's gonna be your leg that you take off of, or your plant leg. You're going to start with it on the E. Your other leg, or in my case, my right leg, my swinging leg, is gonna be just kind of behind it in a line. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything. You're just gonna do that same jump. So if you wanna do it without turning first, you can just straight up jump off that left foot, land on that left foot with the right leg trailing in a straight line. Then you could do it and turn 90 degrees and just get used to that feeling. Tap your foot on the ground if you need to. Then start swinging, and it's really just the same progression. You just go left foot, while turning 90, spot that X, swing over your shoulder, and if you want to use Euro setup or you didn't know how to use Euro setup now, that's all it is. It's just hop, hop, turn 90, swing. For spin setup, there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can do it with your DOM or direction of momentum, or you can do it starting from that J and E motion, just like all the other ones. There's pros and cons to both of them, but you might want to start with the one starting on the J because it's going to be a little bit easier rotation wise than doing it with your direction of momentum, but I'll show you. So if you're trying to learn spin step, the first way, you do it with one foot on the E and one foot on the J. So my left foot is on the E and I'm setting up as if I'm going to do like a tornado kick towards a target that's in front of me. So it's like a Taekwondo tornado kick where we enter in rather than going sideways, more like a tricking cheat setup or tornado kick. What we're gonna do is we're gonna step, we're gonna look over our left shoulder, find the cross section, and then we're just gonna jump out while kind of turning our bodies, landing on our left foot, swinging towards that same momentum we've been swinging towards this whole time, and getting used to that over and over again, trying to go a little bit faster and spotting that cross all the time. Make sure you're spotting. That is the one thing that this is going to help you with. Not the one thing, but this is like why this gainer compass is so useful, because it really gives you that visual. And you can see how even on my couple attempts that I was doing just a second ago, I wasn't actually spacing myself well enough. Like, you want to go really far, but mine was going really close. So I wouldn't have known that unless I had my setup. I was like, oh, cool, I'm nowhere near the cross. Okay, I'll jump out more. And then, whoa, I have way too much momentum and I'm like swinging really fast on this. And then it's about
surrendering to the momentum
and just allowing yourself to swing. Swings in general, kind of like I always tell my students that they feel like you are body surfing or surfing a wave. You get momentum going and you're falling, literally breaking your balance, and then you control that balance breaking and you put a lot of power into that balance break, but you have to literally be like falling and like surrendering to the momentum for a second and then taking control of what you do with your body, but not trying to control the momentum. If you're doing like a standing back tuck or something, you are controlling that momentum. You are generating it, you are jumping, you are pulling yourself over. But if you're doing a swing, you are literally falling and then controlling yourself. That is why a lot of people that can do standing tricks really struggle with swings when they first get into it. And vice versa, because the momentum and the generation of momentum comes from a different place. So the reason that it can be scary for a lot of people is because they don't feel like they have enough time to like spot that X and swing around and stuff. So do like 1,000 reps of the easy mode and then start getting higher and higher. Like, you have so much time. I'm 32 and I got time to learn new tricks. You have time. But once you have that spin step mastered, then you can go on the other side, the cross section of one of the X's. On this one, I have the edge of the floor like too close to it, but I'm sure I did it in the other one, or I have examples of my students doing it that you'll see. But it's gonna end up turning into like a rise motion. So you are stepping with your direction of momentum and you have to spin a little bit more than you did on the other one. And that's why I recommend starting with the other one and then going to this one. But you're going to step linearly and it's gonna spin the same direction as like a B twist, or the same amount of rotation as a B twist or a rise, specifically rise. But the landing is gonna feel just like a rise or a B twist, because every left leg landing is a rise, or every swing landing is a rise basically. So you're gonna step towards your direction of momentum, pivot a whole 180 degrees so that you are facing away from your direction of momentum, so your back is to it. You're swinging the way you have always been swinging, landing on that cross section, and then you spot over your shoulder and swing for that gainer motion. But you can use this for so many things, teaching your students, teaching yourself. This can help you, learn vanishes. If you are going to like scoot, you can do scoot and swing it on one of the X's and going towards your direction of momentum. You can use this to learn like touchdown rise and stuff, because we were just doing the rise motion, and then you just eventually use a touchdown rise. Maybe not learn a touchdown rise, but if you want to optimize your TDR, this can help you understand your spacing to do like bigger tricks and stuff. Because a lot of times errors that people have are that they just kind of crunch their tricks, but this can give you like a visual of like, oh man, I am crunching my trick, aren't I? And then you will have a lot more momentum for whatever trick you're going for. But yeah, that's the gainer compass. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Please like the video if it was helpful to you. Thank you to my patrons, Kat and Badir. You guys are the best. Watching until now, liking and subscribing are all amazing ways to support me. But if you want to support me further, check out the affiliate links in the description. Even if you click on one and then you decide to buy something else later, it'll still give me a little kickback. So that's really appreciated. And if you want to support me even further, you can check out my Patreon. I have tiers from just a supporter all the way until doing private lessons with me, like one a month. But if you want to just do private lessons with me, you can also DM me on Instagram and line something up like other people have and the other private lessons you've seen on my channel. And now that you know how to use your gainer compass, check out this playlist of all the different gainer or swing tricks that I have so that you can discover your options and see a bunch of different stuff that you could use with this gainer compass.